Hi everybody, welcome back to Mama Bear's Instapot Cooking and Adventures. And I hope everybody had a really nice Merry Christmas. And today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different than an Instapot or an outside adventure. I'm going to share with something that I got when I was working in a bank back in the early 70s. A lady gave me the recipe and I've kept it ever since. And I'm gonna share it with you and hopefully you like it. Don't worry about writing anything down. As always, I'll put the description section. I'll go ahead and put you the ingredients and the amounts, and I'll show you what we're going to do. First, let me show you the ingredients we're going to be using. We're going to be using sliced green olives. You can use salad olives, you can use Spanish olives, whatever your preference is. Doesn't matter what brand they are. I buy the ones that are already sliced a little bit. It's not as much chopping involved. So then I go ahead and slice them up just a little bit more. So we use those. I use a can, I used a half a jar of the green olives. They didn't have a smaller jar. I used 1 can of black olives. And then I used 2 jars of the Armour dried beef. And I don't know if you can see that with the light coming through the window, but that's what it looks like, and it's the smaller jars. I used 2 of those. And I cut it into strips and then just kind of cut it in angles and just little bitty pieces. I like it kind of cut up a little bit fine. And then I use 6 of the bricks of Philadelphia cream cheese. It can be any brand, it can be a store brand. Walmart's great value, whatever you have access to that you like. But one thing I do is set it out for a little while and let it get just a little bit softer. Makes it easier to mix all the ingredients in it. And then my secret ingredient, and this usually turns a lot of people like, no, I'm not putting that in my cheese ball. But if you'll just trust me on this one, it's good. You won't know it's in there if you didn't know it was in there. Whenever my husband, I give him this to take to work functions, or we go to parties, or we have it for get-togethers. I always make it during the holidays. It's always the first thing it disappears. But my secret ingredient is, this is Silver Spring. There's a lot of good ones. Seminole makes a really good horseradish. And it's, you can see it's in the refrigerated section like that, and we'll use just a little bit and make sure that it's mixed in there really well. And like I said, if you didn't know it was in there, you wouldn't know it, but it gives that cheese ball just an extra special little kick. What I suggest you do, if you do want to try it and you've never used it like that, go ahead and make just a little bit and put just a little bit in there, and then give it a try and see if you like it. I don't want you ruining your whole cheese ball if you really truly don't like horseradish. You can leave it out. Same way with any of these ingredients. I always try to give you recipes that you can add things to your liking to. Pull things that maybe you don't like so much out. Some people put pineapples and other kinds of cheeses and things in with their cheese balls. You can add nuts if you like on the outside. I don't. I just stick with just these ingredients because to me the flavors blend very well together. They really work. And one thing, when you do make it, make sure to keep it under refrigeration. You can let cream cheese sit out for a while, for long enough for it to be served and everything and be nice and soft. But don't forget, leave it out too long. It is kind of temperature sensitive. So on that note, I've got 6 of these in here, and they're softened. I guess I've had them sitting out about, half hour, something of that nature, make it a little easier to get my fork through. This is the black olives. This was the 1 can of black olives. And as always, we always measure carefully. And then these are the green olives. I just went ahead and sliced them up, pimentos and all. Just dump them in. And one thing when you open up and use your olives, save just a little bit. I would say save 3 full black olives and a few slices of pimento. And we're going to use that for decorating. So we'll be showing you how, but that's, just set that aside and forget about it till we're ready to assemble it. So on that note, let's get our horseradish in here. Now you'll notice, that's strong. You'll notice it does have a little bit of liquid in there. A little bit of liquid is okay. You don't have to worry about draining it down. But to give you an idea of about how much I put for 6 blocks of cream cheese, it would be about that much. If I was to measure that, I would say that's a real decent teaspoonful. So we'll go ahead, and one thing when you put this in here, it'll help in your blending process. Kind of spread it out a little bit to where it's not all in one clump. It makes it easier to disperse it through the cheese ball and get it in there nice and evenly. There we go. Okay, so we're ready now to just start the process of, you can use a spoon, a fork. If you want to put kitchen gloves on, use your hands like you would a meatloaf. Whatever you're comfortable with, but just make sure everything's good and mixed up. Me, with my hands, it's going to take me a little while to conquer this with my fork and spoon. So I'm going to put you on hold, and when we get back, this will be all mixed up, and I'll show you how to decorate it. So I'll see you in a few. Hi everybody. All finished, got it put together. I decided instead of making a ball, I would just go ahead and tub this up and put the lid on it that way. And one thing I did want to mention when we were talking about ingredients, one thing that's really good in with it too, if you like it, is crumbled fresh blue cheese. Just crumble it up real good and put it in there with it. Those flavors go good together too with that. I'm not a real big fan of it. I can eat it. My husband likes it a lot that way. So it's just something to bear in mind if you want to add something different to it and kind of go with that, by all means. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Now the reason, I hope you can see this, I'll hold it up when we're done. I cut these into halves and then into halves again. I don't know if you can see it. I made like little petals. And I'll show you why here in a second. You take the flat end, the flattest of the end, and just go ahead. And it doesn't have to be precise. Just kind of decorate them around. Oops, I wanted to put 2 in there and I set it over too much. No harm, nothing we can't fix. Now I'm getting this all over my fingers. Okay, let's go ahead and put these here. I can take a damp paper towel and wipe off the little black olive petals and get them nice and pretty back up so they make a better presentation. Like I said, there's nothing we can't fix that we do in the kitchen. other than putting too much ingredients in. You never can remove them. That's about the only thing we can't fix. Okay, let me move along here so we're not wasting time making you watch me put this together. But I did want you to see how that I did it. It's real simple. It just goes on there lickety-split. And I ended up with one extra, so that'll be okay. Now I saved a couple little slices of whole sliced green olive. I'm gonna put that right in the center of my little flower. Like that. Press it down in there a little bit. And then I saved some pimentos. So now we're going to put those inside the little green olives. You don't want to fit down there, and I don't want to split them by forcing it, so I'll just kind of lay them on the top. So right now they'll settle in. Okay. You can also take, if you had extra green olives, cut them into long strips and make like little stems if you wanted to make like a little flower that way. But that's kind of the design that you end up with there. There we go. So that would be that. And then if you did make the flowers, you could make the stem coming out and down from it and just kind of decorating that way. So on that note, this is going to go in the refrigerator for a couple days. It'll keep for a few days. Wednesday is New Year's Eve. Today is, I lost track of days. That's terrible. But anyway, it'll keep to New Year's Eve. So on that note, I will be making, I'm real big on pork for starting the new year with. So the next one I do with the food, we'll be getting out our Instapots and doing something to start the new year with. And I'm right now working on some sights and sounds up in Gatlinburg here of the Christmas lights and things that I've been traveling around seeing and doing. So I'll be posting some more videos. So till I see you the next time, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it very much if you did. And to all of you that already have, thank you. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. Bye-bye.